You don't really like Kermit the Frog.
Okay, so you just keep your head straight there. What I do is my eyes here, my hand here. Keep your head still and just follow with your eyes. Lovely. Let me know if you see double at all.
Double there.
You see double there. Oh,
Yeah,
and up there you see double. Lovely. And the other side.
Yeah.
Lovely. Keep looking there.
Yeah.
And you see double up there as well. Lovely. Relax. Did you see some differences in the way that the eyes were moving then?
It's a bit dark, isn't
It is a bit dark, yeah. So normally when you get someone to follow your eyes, you'll see that the eyeballs move and you get this lovely sort of parallel movement between the two of them. But if there's some tightness at the back of the eye, then the muscles are getting caught. So the muscles can't move the eyeball totally. So actually when David moves his eyes, if you're looking at his pupils and what direction they're going in, one of them can get all the way around, the other one can't quite make it there. And so that's why he gets the double vision, because one eye's moving all the way around, the other eye can't make it all the way. And that can be quite painful as well, because you've got inflammation of the muscles behind it there as well. Okay, great. But it's good to hear that things have been improved.
Yeah, they are getting better, yeah.
Fantastic.
But I'm going to give up smoking. I still smoke, which is I've cut down on smoking, but apparently it's really bad for your eyes. So.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear you cut down. Yeah.
New Year's resolution, I've given up. So.
And anybody in your family with similar problems?
We haven't, no, but my mum gets diabetes.
Yeah.
I know that's sort of similar idea of autoimmune disease, but yeah, no one I know of's got it. But even, like I said, even know what the thyroid was.
Sure.
Like, I'm slowly an expert.
Does anybody have any questions or anything else that they would like to ask? No? Or anything that happened this morning? Any other questions about thyroid? And do you all understand why thyroid disease is something that's really important to know about before you stick needles into somebody or before they get an anaesthetic? No. So your thyroid, as was mentioned this morning, is a little bit like the accelerator pedal of a car. So if your thyroid's overactive, your whole body is being driven really fast and your metabolism goes up really high. And so people can get quite sweaty, they're quite shaky because they've got a lot of muscle activity. They can start losing weight because of all those processes that are consuming a lot more calories than normal. And if somebody gets a general anaesthetic during that time, then we know that it can increase their risk of adverse events happening. So basically, it can increase their risk of mortality during an operation because of that anaesthetic that they're getting. So local anaesthetic is more easily managed, but can still make people very unwell and can give them a thyroid crisis. So it can lead to a lot of release of these thyroid hormones, and it can exacerbate all of those problems that David was saying about the sweatiness, the shakiness. But it also knows those feelings of a change in personality as well, and it can be quite dangerous. So he had a very overactive thyroid at the beginning, but then we started some treatment for him, which was the carbimazole tablets. So carbimazole basically act at the thyroid to stop it releasing extra hormone. Okay, and some people can be more susceptible to it than others. So sometimes it takes a really long time to get it to work. But actually, David responded really quickly, and his thyroid hormone suppressed very fast. And in fact, it suppressed so fast that things went the other way, and that's when he became hypothyroid. But now we've got the balance right for you.
What's your treatment plans? Are you going to have the radiotherapy and then?
Well, the radiotherapy is just for 2 weeks, and then I carry on with the steroids for another 3 or 4 months. I'm not quite sure after, once the thyroid is leveled out, I'm not sure. Yeah. Basically, I think the medication goes on for 12 months, and then they start going into iodine treatment and whatnot.
That's right, yeah. So what we'd like to do is, because your eyes are really susceptible to variations in the thyroid hormone level, and so what we like to do is just try and keep the thyroid stable and then give treatment to the eyes to help settle them down. Now, once the eyes have been treated, then we can aim to try and give some permanent treatment to the thyroid gland. And we can basically aim to stop the thyroid working so that it will never become overactive again and just replace the thyroid hormone that's needed. So we've got 2 ways of doing that. We can either remove the thyroid gland with surgery. Okay, surgery is really good, and the very next day, you don't have to worry about it again. All you need to do is to take the tablets. But you do have a scar afterwards. You've got some nerves that come into your neck and then go to your throat. So you've got your coronary nerve. Actually, of course, you guys know all about this. So you can get damage to that. And you've also got your parathyroid glands, of course, very nearby too. And so people can end up with permanent hypocalcemia, so permanent very low calcium levels, which can make people feel really unwell, and they can need lifelong replacement for that too. So the other option is something called radioactive iodine, which is it's an iodine. Iodine gets taken up avidly by the thyroid because iodine gets made into those thyroid hormones. And as it takes up, as the gland takes up the iodine, the radioactivity dose kills off the thyroid and stops it working. And that can take about 6 months before it's had its full effect. So what's nice is that there's no scar. We know we're not going to cause any damage to those nerves. We're not going to cause any damage to the parathyroid glands, but it can take a little bit longer before we start seeing the benefit. Okay. Do I see another hand?
Yeah. Is he receiving, or is he going to receive radiation to treat his eyes directly? Like, would that be directed to the thyroid or?
So the radiation will be for the radiotherapy is for the eyes,
Okay.
and the radioactive iodine is for the thyroid.
Okay. What exactly do we do the radiation therapy for the eyes?
So what we're trying to do is to help reduce the amount of swelling that's behind the eyes. Okay, so we know that with Graves' disease, as opposed to other causes of an overactive thyroid, Graves' disease, you've got a lot of release of these antibodies that can cross-react with the muscles at the back of the eye. And as a result of that, you get a lot of swelling at the back of the eye, and you get some build-up of protein deposits with glycans and things like that as well. And because of the bone surrounding to it, you've only got a finite space that's available for your muscles there and for your optic nerve and for the other fatty tissue that you have there. So as soon as you start getting some swelling, that leads to a lot of pressure, which pushes the eyes forward and also traps the muscles and stops them working to the full effect. So the radiotherapy is to try and, you're not trying to kill off the muscles, but you're just trying to weed them down a little bit, if you like, so that you can attack some of that swelling and aim to reduce the swelling. One of the problems is, though, as you know, as you start damaging tissue, then you can end up with an inflammatory response that can cause more swelling, which is why they was on the steroids to try and help counteract that. Okay. Yeah.
Is it usually eye problems that are the first thing that patients notice?
It can be variable. So sometimes people just notice they're sweating a lot, that they're shaking a lot. It could be weight loss. I had somebody write to me the other day who the first thing they noticed actually was they were getting hair loss. So that can be a sign of it. But the eye signs are specific really for Graves' disease, as opposed to the other causes of hyperthyroidism are things like a multinodular goiter or a single nodule, which is hyperfunctioning within the thyroid gland. But this is something that's Graves is an autoimmune condition, and it's those antibodies that cause the eye signs as well. But those other symptoms can be with any form of hyperthyroidism. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think because you only noticed it this year, but do you think you've had the symptoms for a lot longer?
Yeah, I imagine I have actually, which makes a lot of sense. I've always been quite hyperactive and anxious, so yeah, I can imagine I've had it quite a long time. Pretty close to life. But I think there's quite a lot undiagnosed, isn't it, really? The thyroid and stuff. And it's got big bulge eyes, so a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, that's something that I would share actually, is that often people have had symptoms for a lot longer, and because it happens quite slowly and can build up over time, people just assume that that's normal for them. It can be quite difficult. It's not something that's there one day and wasn't there yesterday, so it's not a simple turnaround. Okay. Brilliant. Anything else? No? Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Get out of here.
Okay, so Dave, you've just had your interview in front of those students. How do you feel it went?
That was nerve-wracking. It was all right. Yeah. Luckily, the lady helped me out a lot. It was very intimidating. And now I'm free. I've done it.
But she asked some quite interesting questions.
Yeah, she was. She was good. I've actually learned quite a lot from that.
Absolutely, to add to your existing knowledge.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I think that there are some things that when you now look back retrospectively, perhaps you had been suffering with this a bit longer than...
I reckon so. Yeah, it makes sense for me. So, with the anxiety and the nervousness and the hyperactivity, it would definitely make sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good. Now it's time to get some food.